Well, hello again from Southern Ontario. So July 4th or 5th, I don't know, lost track. It's Monday. Another scorcher here in Southern Ontario. The sheeple in Canada, it's astounding, it really is. Just an example. I went into town today. Stopped at 2 different grocery stores. Must have asked a half a dozen people just in the way of conversation and passing. What did you think about what happened in Ottawa in Canada Day? Oh, did something happen? Ditto at the laundromat, ditto at the beer store. I go in the bank. It's actually quiet, no lineup. What do you think now? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people there, plus myself. It's quite quiet. So as I'm done doing my banking business, there were 2 customers at the till just down from me. They were turning away from who they were dealing with behind the counter in the bank. And I said, oh, excuse me, let me have a sip of this delightful cold beer. So I said, excuse me, sorry to interrupt, just a couple minutes of your time. Does anybody have a take on what happened in Canada Day in Ottawa? Blank looks. I said, is anybody aware that there was a gathering in Alberta, in Ottawa on Canada Day? Blank looks. So there was a rally, there was a gathering, there was a protest there. Does not a one of you know what that was all about? Blank looks, shaking heads. Everybody looks a little confused, a little scared. I don't blame them, I ain't pretty, but you know, I said, well, okay, anybody care to hazard a guess why there were like close to, if not 10,000 people gathered in Ottawa for a protest? No comment, blank looks. I look at the young buck who's behind the till doing my business. Hazard a guess, I said. Oh, something to do with the COVID. No, I didn't hear anything about the COVID there. I said, you know, for everybody's benefit, I said, is there anyone here who doesn't go on the internet? You know, everybody shakes their head. I said, is there anybody here who hasn't been on the internet since Canada Day? Everybody shakes their head no. And yet no one knows that there was a protest in Ottawa, yet alone what it was about. By now, people have, you know, gotten over the fear factor. They're kind of, you know, nodding and grunting a little bit. Again, the young buck I'm talking to, he says, well, what were they protesting then if it wasn't the COVID? I said they were protesting corruption. Corruption on a federal level. The Prime Minister. Oh, eyes go down. I'm starting to sound scary again, I guess. So has anybody heard of Norman Traversy? No, who is he, the young guy says. Again, I say to the assembly, I said, well, he presented a petition to the American consulate on Canada Day, and the next day to the Mexican consulate. I look around. People they're listening. Nobody's really looking scared anymore, but nobody's saying anything. My clerk, the young buck, he says, what was that all about? I said, well, he served an almost 200-page legal document to both embassies Is anyone aware that we have a new trade agreement that came into effect on the 2nd, replacing NAFTA? It's a trade agreement between Mexico and Canada and the U.S. No, everybody's shaking their head. Nobody's aware of that trade agreement. No. So we all go on the internet. So they suggest you look up Norman Traversy. So I'm okay, thanks for listening. Carry on. Didn't mean to upset anyone. Turn back to my young buck there. I said, "Are you going to humor me and write that down?" He points at his computer screen. He says, "I already put it in there." I said, "All right, well, do me a favor, put in, Google Common Sense Carl videos on YouTube too, okay?" Yeah, he says. I said, "All right, thanks for humoring me. Carry on, everyone, carry on. Have a good day. Yep, bye." Off I went. The sheeple factor is astounding. I mean, I must ask a half a dozen people a day something. Have you heard? Do you know? Are you aware? Nope. Don't want to be. They're going to be the doom of us all. I don't bust my guts on this, but I do put a fair bit of time into it. And I know I'm not a great orator. I'm not an educated man, but I hope I've awoken one sheeple. I don't know. We got to keep trying. It astounds me. I didn't even bother asking if they're aware that, they're still camped up there at the War Memorial, hanging in with this protest. While I'm rambling and we're on the vein, did you see the Rebel News at Nathan Phillips Square? They're there, legitimate journalists, got their press card, doing everything they're allowed to do, supposed to do, want to do, and the police escort them out because they don't want them to upset the encamped protesters, whose basic premise is not defund the police, they want to abolish the police. Is this all really fucked up, or is it just me? Wow. As always, good luck to us all. Every day, we're going to need luck all the more. Take care.